Great Expectations. Charles Dickens was one of the most renowned novelists of the 19th century, known for his works that vividly depict social inequality, class struggles, and moral growth. His novels not only critically examine the social injustices of Victorian England, but also deliver deeply, moving and humanistic narratives that captivated readers. As a child, Dickens experienced poverty firsthand when his father was imprisoned for debt, forcing young Charles to work in a factory. These experiences profoundly shaped his literary vision, influencing his portrayals of poverty, injustice, and the struggles of the working class. Some of his most famous works include Great Expectations, a young boy's journey through ambition, love, and self-discovery; Oliver Twist, The Hardships of an Orphan; Caught in a World of Crime and Corruption, A Christmas Carol; a timeless moral tale of redemption and generosity; David Copperfield, a semi-autobiographical novel following a young man's life and growth. Among these, Great Expectations is regarded as one of his greatest masterpieces. It is a coming-of-age story about a boy striving for social status, love, and self-fulfillment, while learning the true meaning of wealth and greatness. A cold winter night in a remote graveyard of a small English village, a young orphan boy named Philip Purip, or simply Pip, stood by his parents' graves, wiping away tears. Mother, father, my dear brother. Pip had lost his parents at an early age and was raised by his strict and bad-tempered sister and her kind-hearted blacksmith husband, Joe Gargery. Suddenly, a terrifying voice shattered the silence. "Stay still, boy." A rough-looking man grabbed Pip. His clothes were ragged, and his face was filled with desperation. He was an escaped convict of Bell Magwitch. "Bring me food and a file to cut my chains, or I'll tear you apart." Trembling with fear, Pip rushed home, stealing bread from the pantry and a file from Joe's tools. But before long, Magwitch was captured by the authorities. Surprisingly, he protected Pip, telling the police, "This boy had nothing to do with it. I stole the food myself." Pip was stunned. A man who threatened him had now shielded him. But he quickly forgot about the incident, unaware that this moment would later shape his entire life. Years passed, and Pip received an unusual invitation. He was summoned to Satis House, the eerie mansion of Miss Havisham, a wealthy but reclusive woman. Miss Havisham had been betrayed on her wedding day, abandoned by her groom. Since then, she had lived forever trapped in time, still wearing her wedding dress, with a decayed wedding feast left untouched. There, Pip met Estella. She was beautiful but cold, raised by Miss Havisham to break men's hearts as revenge against all men. "You are nothing but a coarse, unrefined village boy." Despite her cruelty, Pip fell in love with her instantly. From that day on, he dreamed of becoming a gentleman, believing that if he rose in social class, he could win her heart. "I will no longer be just a blacksmith. I will be a true gentleman." Years later, a shocking announcement changed Pip's life. A London lawyer, Mr. Jaggers, arrived with unexpected news. "You have been chosen by a mysterious benefactor who wishes to make you a gentleman. You are to leave for London at once." Pip was overjoyed. "This must be Miss Havisham's doing. She wants me to marry Estella." He left his humble village behind, bidding farewell to Joe, and set off for London, eager for his new life. In London, Pip met Herbert Pocket, who taught him the ways of a true gentleman. Being a gentleman isn't just about fine clothes, Pip. It's about character and conduct. But Pip soon became consumed by luxury and vanity. He wasted money recklessly, enjoying lavish parties. He ignored Joe, feeling embarrassed by his humble roots. He continued to love Estella despite her indifference. "I am no longer a mere blacksmith's apprentice. I belong to the upper class now." But was this true success? Was wealth and status enough to make him truly happy? One stormy night, a shadowy figure arrived at Pip's doorstep. It was Abel Magwitch, the escaped convict from Pip's childhood. "Pip, my dear boy, I am your benefactor." Pip was horrified. "You mean it wasn't Miss Havisham? My wealth came from a criminal?" Magwitch smiled with pride. I worked hard in Australia, made my fortune, and sent it all to you. You are the son I never had. Pip's world crumbled. Everything he believed his rise to gentleman status. His hopes of marrying Estella was built on a false dream. I was blind to the truth. I let wealth corrupt me. Pip no longer cared for money or status. When Magwitch was arrested and sentenced to death, Pip stayed by his side. You are not a criminal in my eyes, Magwitch. You are my father in spirit. As he took his last breath, Magwitch smiled. You've become the man I always hoped you'd be, Pip. A true gentleman not by wealth, but by heart. Pip wept, realizing that true nobility lay not in money, but in love, sacrifice, and integrity. Years passed. Estella, having suffered in an unhappy marriage, returned to Sada's house, alone and broken. Pip met her once again. She looked at him with tears in her eyes. Now I finally understand the kind of man you are, Pip. They held hands. From now on, we walked together. Pip had lost everything, his wealth, his expectations, his illusions, but he had gained wisdom, humility, and love. At first, Pip believed money and social status were the keys to happiness, but he learned that true greatness lies not in wealth, but in kindness, love, and personal growth. The real great expectations were not riches, but the lessons he gained through hardship, loyalty, and redemption. Magwitch was not just a benefactor, he was the father Pip never had.